All right, hello everyone. This is Dr. Chelle with Dr. Test Prep. Thank you for coming to the channel. Right now, you know that my series is all about helping you be the best that you can be on the PSAT and the SAT. Right now, we are doing Unit 4, Lesson 3 on operations with polynomials. This is a perfect example of why knowing how to use the graphing calculator is super important. If you know how to do everything in your head, like probably number 3 you could do in your head, great. But the graphing calculator is really going to help you out. We are on page 62. If you have my book, the link is in the description. If you don't, no worries. Just get paper and pencil to take some notes. And please open up the Desmos calculator to follow along. You should kind of split screen like I am so you can watch the video and also practice in Desmos. Remember, when you click the link, it's going to take you to this screen. Click Choose Assessment and then College Board. All right, let's take a look. Oh, and if you don't do that and you try to do what I'm teaching you, it won't always work. All right, number 1, simplify the expression. Hopefully you remember the area model, or you remember FOIL, or you remember what I'm going to show you. Let's type in our f of x for our first function. We've got 4x minus 3, and we've got 2x plus 5. Okay, now you might have known right away, oh, my video is just downloaded, aren't we excited? You might have noticed right away that the signs on the inside are different. So because of that, we know that it can't be the first 2. I'm going to pretend you didn't know that, and we're just going to type it out. So we've got a of x. Remember, I like to use A, B, C, D to match the order of the questions. We've got 8x squared plus 14x plus 15. Obviously, those are not the same. I'm not going to even bother retyping it. I'm just going to copy it, paste it, and change the letters. Or you could just change it right away, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, so that's why I'm not doing that. So here we've got another 2. I mean, if I zoom out, clearly it doesn't match the red one. So now I'll do our C1, which is 8x squared plus 14x minus 15. That's the one. Look what happens when I turn off the blue and the green. It's just red and purple. Okay, so because it's just red and purple, I know that that is going to be my correct answer. Okay. Now, if I were doing FOIL, it would be, I actually prefer teaching kids the box method. So this would be 4x minus 3, 2x plus 5, and then inside you would have 4 times 2 is 8x squared, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6x, 5 times 4 is 20x, negative 15, and because we have the positive 20x and the negative 16, that's why we have the positive 14 inside. All right, let's look at the next one. This one I think is a little bit trickier because of the y's. But it's been a couple weeks since I wrote this question. Yeah, it is trickier because of the y's. So you have a couple options. One, you can just know how to distribute it. And basically how you distribute it is, we know we have a line, a symbol, and another line. Here we have 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared, and then the y. Here we have a negative times a negative, which is a positive. 3 times 4 is 12, and then x times x is x squared. So our correct answer is letter D. Okay, negative 3 times positive 2 is negative 6. If you didn't remember that and you wanted to use the slider tool, what we would do is we would pick a letter for all the x's. In this case, I'm going to pick the letter A for x. Not like A stands for x, but like for my substitution. My y, I'm going to call B, and then I'm going to put in all. And then remember, pick numbers that are higher than 0, 1, or 2. It doesn't matter what you pick. Just don't pick negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, or 2, because it can kind of throw off the data. So then what I'm going to do is just type in each answer choice. I've got negative 6xy plus 12x. Remember in previous videos when I showed you this trick, I said write the x and y's in Desmos first and then go back and change it, because when you're taking a test, your anxiety can be super high and you're just like all over the place. It's called you're using your active working memory. And so it'll be easier just to first copy all the x and y's, then change the x's, then change the y's. In this case, we can see that 1315 doesn't equal 223. So we'll try the next one, which is add a square on that one, and add a square on this one, and a minus sign. Those numbers aren't the same, so it's not letter B. Letter C is take out the squared here and take out the squared here. Those aren't the same. And then we have letter D, which we know is correct, where I'm adding in a square term there and adding in a square term. What did I miss? Here. Oh, and this is a plus sign. And then it's the same. Okay, so if you remembered the rules, this would be an example. Remember, the College Board says that we're giving you the calculator for everything, but you don't necessarily need the calculator. So it definitely took an extra 2 to 3 minutes to use the slider and change the X's to Y's and A's to B's. What I probably would do is, if you didn't know how to do the distribution how I wrote it, but you at least knew that a negative times a negative is a positive, then you could have only just checked like A and D and see which one of those two worked. All right, here's the next one. I'm going to delete everything by hitting this gear and delete all. This has got X's in it, so we don't have to use the slider because we don't have X's and Y's, but we do have to type it in correctly. 3x, Shift 6 is the square term. Use the arrow key to get out of the exponent. Okay, so if you used a different graphing calculator, it might not simplify it. So that's why even if you have the TI 9000, I would still use Desmos, okay? Especially since all my videos help you using Desmos. But there's a whole lot Desmos can do. All right, so that's our parent function right there. All right, if you knew how to combine like terms, great, combine like terms. If you don't, type in each answer choice. We're going to type in the negative. I'm saving time by not doing A of X. That didn't work. We're going to take out the negative for letter C and turn this into a plus sign. That didn't work. Now we're going to put a minus sign in front. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. That's our answer. Right, where is that from? I don't even know what movie that's from. Letter D. And how do I know it's the same? Because it has infinite many solutions. The two functions match up on top of each other, so it has to be letter D. All right, hi, this section can be tricky. Please be mindful of words like from, which you're going to see in, I think, in the next couple. Subtract 4 from 9 means 9 minus 4. Also pay attention to the signs. One wrong sign changes the entire answer. So please take the extra few seconds and double check. All right, we just finished page 62 of my book, The Basic Examples from Khan Academy Unit 4 Lesson 3. In my next video, we're going to go over Unit 4 Lesson 3, the harder examples, on page 63 of my book. All right, thank you guys for coming.